She was like, that was like your child before you had a child. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, like that's real talk though. Like the responsibility of having a pet, that shit is no game. Like my first big major responsibility with a pet was when I was in college and I bought a pit bull. Woof. Like that shit, shout out to Dope Boy Fresh, rest in peace Dope Boy Fresh. Like I love that dog so much. Like I lived in my car at one point and I had an apartment, but I lived in my car because my dog couldn't come in my apartment. They threatened to evict me because one of my neighbors snitched that I had a dog. Like that shit was whack as hell. Whack. But yeah, like it's a major responsibility. It's a major responsibility having a pet. So just very briefly, tips for taking care of your pet. Listen, I know there's a lot of pet owners out there, but if you are not providing a clean living environment for your pet, you are not a good pet owner. I'm keeping it 100. Like, not everybody's house got to be 100% clean, this, and that. But, at the very least, I feel like try to keep your bathroom clean because, what happens? Like when you flush the toilet and you leave the toilet seat up. Oh yeah, the bacteria from the toilet, like all that shit floats up again to the air, get on stuff.
That's just good hygiene for you too.
Like, yeah. You don't want to be breathing that in. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's that things like that. But I'm saying like that's not even a part of keeping the bathroom clean. I'm saying it's things like that I feel like you pointed out, good hygiene. Like those things is really important. So that's why I say like the kitchen. That's where your food is, the food you're gonna eat, wherever you keep your food, whether it's a pantry, the cabinets, that shit gotta get clean. Your microwave, that gotta be clean. The counter, that gotta be clean. Like, and definitely your bathroom. And then, if you don't have a common living area, obviously if you have a common living area, it should always be clean because there's too many people living there. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't, you got your own private common area, you want it to be clean so people can come over, stop by your house. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry, oh my goodness, somebody said they pull up outside or they on the way or this and that. Like, that's not even something you should even be concerned about. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Just keep it tight. Anyway, next on the list. Provide ample opportunities to exercise. There's a lot of people who get, like, what they call, like, house dogs, but they don't take them dogs outside at all. Like, even though it's a house dog, it's still a dog. It's still an animal. That's still, like, if it wasn't for you, human being, that dog would be out in the streets fending for itself. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely, yeah, let your animal get some exercise. Train your pet how to follow simple commands. Definitely couldn't train my duck. My duck's imprint on you, so he followed by nature. It wasn't something that I taught him. But I trained my pet I trained Ducky to sit on a stool. That's not something that ducks normally do, sit in one position or in one area or place for like a super long time. Other than when it's cold, I've seen them kind of do that, but yeah, other than that, I feel like that's what I mostly trained them to do, if anything. And it really wasn't even training. It was kind of like, repetition. And they say animals are smart. Like you create a schedule and they follow it. Feeding the animal a good quality diet and preventing obesity. So that's something that I see a lot with dogs. Fat dog. Yeah, the fat dog thing. That be stressing me out. I be like, oh my gosh, why is they dog so fat? Like that cannot be healthy for the dog. Obviously, well, I mean, a lot of people have their own personal issues with like, being able to provide food and like overeating being better than starving. That's definitely not true, especially for humans. But I get it. And that's definitely important. But a balanced diet is what's really important. Not just giving your dog anything, not your dog, but any pet. You can't just give them anything. Like you got to figure out what is it that they need. One thing about ducks is they eat sand and like oyster shells or egg shells for calcium for their bones. So that's really important. Dental care is important. Oh my goodness, that is so hard to get a dog to cooperate. I used to get them little greeny bones that's supposed to keep their teeth fresh. No, my dog would not eat that. So yeah,
I
definitely.
don't want this.
You can always like Google, natural ways to resolve these problems. Like, there's a workaround. You don't always got to look to the stuff in the store, because I feel like one of the biggest things, like, when you aren't the most financially stable and you have a pet, the last thing you want to do is give your pet up. And so I think we just kind of, sometimes people just do what they can, and that may not necessarily be healthy for the pet. That's like giving the dogs the bones, even though, if they're hungry, the bone is not going to feed them. They need the meat. But anyway, you give them the bone, and then what happened? They break the bone, the sharp part, stab them in their intestines. Then you got to get the dog surgery. You already couldn't afford to buy the dog food. How you going to pay for the surgery? Like, it's just a really messed up situation. So, pay attention to, what specifically your pets need. I keep saying dogs, what they need, to make sure that you're feeding them those things. Like, good fur, good coat, good feathers. Are their eyes looking normal? Are they clean? Grooming is definitely really important too. Keep the space clean, keep your pet clean. Everybody's happy at the end of the day. If you can't do these basic things and caring for your pet, then again, you shouldn't have one at all.